Welcome to Daybreak Plus and another snowy, cold start to the day where we
Rinse and
have,
repeat.
250, actually more than that.
It's like
Schools
270
closed.
now.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Quite a few.
Some of those are churches, but most of them are schools. It's fun out there.
I feel like I'm the bearer of bad news constantly. For 2 weeks, I mentioned that today, 2 weeks of measurable snow in Grand Rapids. It's not quite record-breaking, but it is getting a little bit close to the top 10 list, at least. I believe the record for consecutive snowfall days sits at 20 days in a row. So I don't think we'll get there. We should not get there, but tomorrow we'll test the waters to see if we'll get 15 in a row. There's still the chance for just a few scattered snow showers in the mix, but yeah, Teresa, you mentioned earlier, we're at day 6 for a handful of schools out there, and that is the number that they typically have reserved for snow days. So starting to get into that territory of what do they do? Are they adding days at the end? Are there forgiven days? And what's going on from there?
And this is why schools are closed, because this is what the roads look like in terms of movement. And like M6, for example, not moving. And that's how a lot of the roads are. Tom's been tracking so many different crashes, and that we've had interstate shutdowns multiple times throughout the morning. So, yeah, it's just kind of a mess out there. We should look around at some other views. Let me see what I can pull up. I know you'll show us in the forecast as well, but sometimes, like from our Kalamazoo studio, which in the southern counties is where we started to get the school closings earlier. In that was more in Calhoun County. But in Grand Rapids, the overview, you still can't see any pavement.
No. And keep in mind, too, like, even if you are seeing pavement, it basically just puts us back where we were yesterday, which was ice. That was one of the worst drives I think I've had all winter, because it looked completely fine, but it wasn't. A lot of people getting stuck on hills, at lights, sliding through, so keep that in mind, too, even if you can see the pavement.
And there
I
are
drove
some
in.
delays.
It was for like 4 inches on the ground this morning at 3:30 this morning.
Yeah. We've seen reports anywhere from about 4 to 6 inches so far, and it's still snowing, so it's kind of hard to keep up. What I'd like to point out here is we've actually just gotten a lot of snow in Kent, Ottawa, Allegan, and Barrie counties. That's where you see those darker blue pops of color there. And the reasoning for that is we haven't had a whole lot of movement with this system. We thought it would kind of be in and out, and it's lingered a little bit longer. So I do actually think we're going to have reports upwards of like 7 to 8 inches when all is said and done. The silver lining, though, and I'll zoom in here, is we're starting to see some drier air break it up, so it will turn into a true lake effect event. That should eliminate at least some of the snowfall in the Grand Rapids metro, at least the consistent snowfall, and it'll start to target some of our lakeshore communities. But for the time being, you mentioned M6, that's exactly kind of where that band is setting up, and it is a parking lot,
Which
basically.
is already rough.
Yes,
Just the way that road is, the way the wind blows across it, anytime it snows, we just try to avoid it.
Yeah.
But today it's extra bad.
Extra bad for sure. The problem, too, is we talked about this morning on the show as well. It's not just the snow, it's the cold.
Well,
so it'd be way more helpful if it was like 32 degrees and salt was effective and we were having the snow break up, but it's
almost
not.
worse when they plow it down.
Don't you think?
Yes, because then you have no traction. It's just a layer of ice.
I agree. Couldn't agree more. But 18 in Allendale, which isn't terrible. Again, 15 is kind of the golden number that we look for when salt becomes a bit more effective, but it doesn't feel like 18. And the wind is a huge factor. That could be blowing the salt off the roadway. So not sure what their approach is going to be today, but I have a feeling
Does the
it's
wind
not going to be
chill
wise.
affect the salt effectiveness, or is it just the true temperature?
True temperature and road temperatures play a role. The road temperatures are kind of shot too. It's really, really cold. Typically we see road temperatures a little bit warmer, but that's not the case because we've had such a thick snowpack. I think the wind, though, is going to be a big factor in them making that decision, because a lot of the salt just gets blown off the road and it doesn't do much. One study that I actually read through last week, which I thought was super interesting, showed that if salt isn't sitting in one spot for at least 10 minutes, it doesn't really do anything. Like if you're just blowing it around, you know what I mean? So like when you salt your driveway, like you're in good shape because no one's walking or driving through it. But what good is that going to do on a freeway? Not a whole lot. So thought that was interesting. Visibility, a big issue there too. You can see that in Allendale. Winter weather advisory continues for counties along and west of 131. That continues through 7 o'clock tonight. We should start to see some improvement around that 3 or 4 o'clock range, kind of like we did yesterday, but the snow is still falling into the evening hours there too. So here's a look at the future cast. If you're trying to walk through this, we are expecting that sharp transition to lake effect by about noon or 1. Still some bands will make it inland. Like any good lake effect event, it could be kind of whiteout conditions initially, and then we'll see some improvement as the next hour goes by. Wednesday should be largely dry, about a 30% chance that you'll find yourself in a snow shower. And if you do find yourself in a snow shower, it's going to be really, really light. So another thing we have going for us. So here's kind of a look at our snowfall forecast. Again, this is verifying now, so I actually think these totals kind of need to be raised a bit, but about 4 to 6 inches west of 131, inland about 2 to 4 inches, and then about a trace to 2 inches on our far eastern edge counties there. So a lot more to come. I know people are tired of it. They're tired of it. Teresa, your kids have been home for what, like a week straight?
They had 1 day of school last week.
And it was a great day,
and then they were there yesterday.
Okay.
So
So you've had some breaks in
a couple days.
2 on, 1 off. You know?
Yeah, I know parents have to be just, even just figuring out, you know, you love your kids. Like, what are you going to do with them?
What have they been up to? Watching movies? What do you even, I mean, I don't know what else you do.
Playing games, watching movies. Yeah. Probably should just get them doing chores.
At this point.
Clean the house.
Make it so they don't want a snow day, not that it impacts the decision.
Right. There you go. A good strategy there.
Do the laundry.
Yeah.
Clean the baseboards. That's what I would vote.
Just very specific tasks, those types of things. I think I have an 8 day in here somewhere. I can pop that up before. Oh, I do want to highlight this really quick. I think this is an interesting tidbit. We talked a lot about a lot of schools are reaching kind of that threshold for snow days. Friday is probably going to be another day that it gets called off, not because of the snow, but because we're looking at a low of -8. So windy. Wind chill should reach -20 to -30. So it will reach the threshold. But that's really the only one. Silver lining. 8 day looks a little warmer. February looks warmer, also looks quieter in terms of snow chances. So we have that to look forward to.
Do we call 27 degrees a break in the cold?
That's a heat
it's
wave.
technically below average, which is crazy, right? It's still 4 degrees.
I'm going to call it a break in the cold.
Right? Like, I don't know. A win is a win, right? We got to take it where we can get it.
Man.
I will admit I'm a little beaten down right now.
Me too. I'm feeling it, you guys.
Well, this is
it's
not
been
going
a
to
long
help
haul.
then.
Yeah.
This is not going to help.
Another day or so.
Yeah.
I got stuck in Florida.
Oh, stop. Stuck in
This
Florida.
This is painful.
That's why I wasn't here yesterday and got to...
Stuck in Florida.
Well, I mean, I did miss the kids. I was trying to get home, but because we were there, we did go enjoy one beach sunrise, and it was really pretty.
Nice.
This day was actually not that warm. I think it was in the 50s.
Okay.
The next day it was 80 degrees.
Yeah.
You caught one good day while you were there.
Yeah. So I was supposed to be home Sunday. We ended up having to stay. All the flights were canceled on Sunday. And it was 80 degrees. I didn't even bring a suit though because it wasn't supposed to be there. I'm not complaining.
No.
I was just trying to soak it all in as I'm heading back to this.
Gotta last you to like June.
It'll have to.
The way things are looking here.
Don't say that, Sarah.
Forever.
June.
Yeah, it's interesting
You're gonna
too.
break his heart.
Last thing is we will see that cold air slide in Friday. Keep in mind, the southern part of the country has been so cold. People have been dripping their faucets for days, and they have another cold blast. So at least we're like in a place that can kind of handle it. Yeah, silver lining there.
Do you have a sense yet of what March will be like?
We can look at outlooks on a 1 month, 3 month, and then obviously we show kind of our 2 week one a lot on newscasts. February looks to be about average in terms of precipitation, potentially slightly cooler. That kind of makes sense, even though we see the 20s, it's still below average. When we look at the long range outlook through, I think it's February, March, April at this point, gives us about a 50-50 chance. It doesn't really trend either way, so... Hopefully warmer, right? Hopefully it turns.
The groundhog's not even going to be able to find.
I know.
The
groundhog's going to be like, never mind. So, yeah.
Well, thank you, Sarah.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
Happy to be here.
We also sent David out into the cold because we want to show you what things look like at road surface level.
It's crazy out there. Let him explain.
Today that ends in Y in Michigan, Teresa and George. Here we are with drivers taking it relatively slow on this Tuesday morning along the stretch of Medical Mile of 196. And you can't even see the lanes, the lines that separate the different cars. So drivers are attending to the traction left behind by tires throughout the morning here. So you have that, but also varying levels of visibility. 1 minute, you could see quite a bit in front of you for a snow shower like this. Then the next minute, you probably see not not even a football field or less than in front of you, and then the next minute it's almost whiteout conditions. The variability of that, as well as the snowfall intensity itself, is making this a very, very dangerous commute for anybody who is not paying enough attention to the conditions. And the coup de grace is that this snow is the fluffy snow that could give you an illusion, so to speak, that it could be there could be much more snowfall than there already is versus what is actually being measured by the National Weather Service. So with that, it could be a little bit more dangerous for the low-riding vehicles that are not suspended as high on the ground. So if there's any silver lining, it means that the trucks and plows that are clearing the snow, they have a little bit of an easier task to complete as we get to the bulk of the commute this Tuesday morning. But that is a very small silver lining compared to everything else that every driver has to take into account as we go through, once again, another day that ends in Y in this great state of Michigan, Teresa and George.
I know he's had a lot of days out in the cold.
Yeah, he's been out there quite a few
us.
days. You know, when I came to work this morning, I can either get on 196 East for one exit to get to work, or I can cut through town. And I was like, let's just cut through town this morning.
I did take
Yeah.
the highway, but because there's so few people on it, I think it would have been, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. But yeah, it's good luck. Good luck.
Take it easy out there.
Okay, we have our stories in the rundown to get to coming up next, including an update from state police on a teenager's death in Fruitport Township.
Stay with us.
Welcome back to Daybreak Plus on a very snowy Tuesday. We also are keeping an eye on the headlines for you this morning, including what's happening in Fruitport Township.
There is an update on that incident there. A minor apparently was holding the gun that shot and killed this teenager there. And state police said that 2 minors actually had access to the gun. One of them had it when it went off.
So we did get information from Fruitport Community Schools about an 8th grader who died over the weekend. State police have not confirmed that this is the same child who died.
We're still waiting to hear that confirmation. Also, we should point out that the child died before police were able to get to the scene.
Yes. So that's the update from Fruitport Township. Last night, this is what was going on in Kalamazoo. There was a protest against ICE right downtown. There was a meeting that was going to be happening, and this is what was kind of happening outside City Hall as all of that was getting ready to go on.
There was a protest, and then it turned into a vigil for Alex Preddy, who's the ICU nurse that ICE agent shot and killed in Minneapolis.
It lasted for a long time. A lot of the people who were part of this were also part of the city commissioner meeting and spoke up against some of the deportation efforts that are happening, asking city commissioners to remove some of the cameras that are around the city, for example, because they don't want ICE to use the video from that. So there's a lot going on in Kalamazoo as it pertains to that. Also this morning, people who live in Lowell spent time fighting plans for a data center after Microsoft came out to say that they're behind these plans for the data center.
Now, there were no Microsoft representatives at this meeting last night.
Or at least not any that identified
that we were
themselves.
identified, right.
Yeah.
But there are obviously complaints about clean water and noise pollution and electricity bills perhaps going up.
And we did hear from people at this meeting last night.
We need to hold our governments, all those stakeholders, we have to hold them accountable to what they're doing. And the way to do that is through open, honest and transparent conversations. It doesn't have to be an us versus them.
Okay, a teacher or an ex-teacher who used to work at Northview High School faces charges this morning for using AI to create images that showed 2 students naked.
There were 2 former students. You can actually make it so that they appear naked. He resigned from his job last week, and now he's facing charges in this case.
It was a girlfriend who found these images on one of his devices. Now, the original picture, these students were fully clothed, but he used AI to create those images, and the prosecutor said this was not like cases that they've dealt with before. And that's kind of where we're at with AI.
It's scary what AI can do.
In fact, our Attorney General, Dana Nessel, has joined other attorneys general in this lawsuit against Grok for allowing people to make images like that.
Yeah, you can do it with just a click of a button. It's part of the feature on Grok. All you have to do, here you are with clothes on, hit a button.
Make it
You're
without
naked.
clothes on. So these attorneys general are asking Grok to disable that function, and they want consequences for people who have posted photos using that function as well. Okay, those are the rundown stories. George's favorite segment is coming
It's
up.
coming up. Celebrity birthdays. We've got quite a few.
We have a long
And
list.
some interesting tidbits on this day in Michigan history.
We'll be right back. All right, we're back to Daybreak Plus.
Snow, snow, and more snow.
We can't talk enough about it, but we're going to talk about something else because if you're home, that means probably the kids are home for most schools, more than 250. So best of luck today. Here's some trivia to share with the fam on another snow day. We have celebrity birthdays.
And our first one is Bridget Fonda.
Bridget Fonda, 62 years old today.
Famous actress, daughter of Peter Fonda. She's been in A Single White Female. What else has she been in? Point of No Return.
Yeah.
40 plus films.
We also have Rosamund Pike, who is 47 years old today, British actress.
I remember her best from Jack Reacher. That's because that's the one I've seen most recently. But she was in Pride and Prejudice.
Oh,
She was
that's
in
right.
Gone Girl. But yeah, Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise. I remember that one.
We're going to go into the 70s plus crowd now
All right.
with Mimi Rogers, 70 years old, big birthday for her.
Yeah, she's been in plenty of TV shows and movies. Once married to Tom Cruise. How about that?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that was way back.
That was. Happy birthday to Mimi. Also, Nick Mason, who's 82 years old today.
I didn't know about Nick Mason, drummer for Pink Floyd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to get in all the scenes here. We're going to continue with the arts and Mikhail Baryshnikov, who is 78 years old today. Younger photos would show him dancing.
Yes, a famous ballet and modern dancer, and defected from Russia in the 70s, became an American citizen in 1986.
Still has his dancing school in New York.
Is that
as
right?
well.
Okay. Ah.
On this day
Oh,
in
yeah.
Michigan history, a few interesting things.
We got a few good ones.
We're gonna start from the oldest.
Way back.
1800s,
1847.
in fact. So people in Marshall helped keep slave catchers from catching up to this man and his family.
Adam Crosswhite and his family, they had escaped from Kentucky, and citizens banded together to prevent the slave catchers from taking them.
Now, at the time, there were laws about getting in the way of slave catchers, federal laws, in fact. So after they did this, This all went to court, and they were punished for it. And then the federal government came up with an even stricter law against helping slaves.
Right.
But then Michigan created a law protecting escaped slaves.
Basically saying state and local officials cannot help capture fugitives.
Right. You can't turn information over and things like that. So it didn't happen quickly. It was over a period of several years. But this led to quite a lot of change in Michigan and even nationally. Okay, 1883, the center picture here, view of Woodward Avenue. In that building was a store, which ended up with the first electric lights in the state.
It was Metcalf's dry goods store.
Yes.
Got to have a good dry goods store.
And they had it with electric lights. No more gas lights.
No. Evolution. Things change.
And let's fast forward quite a bit. That is Michigan's gray wolf, which used to be an endangered species.
I read that they went from 6 in 1973 to 700 today.
That was part of a program meant to improve the population, and it worked. So in 2012, they were declared no longer an endangered species, and now we have hundreds of them.
Great wildlife survival story.
Also in 2012, President Obama made a visit to the University of Michigan.
He was Michigan has had 13 presidents visit campus in Ann Arbor. How about that?
How about that?
That is a popular spot.
Let's talk about last night, George.
All right, about last night.
About
That's a
last
movie.
night. It is. So last night, George and I were both at an event to raise money for God's Kitchen. It was at Catholic Charities West Michigan puts
sponsored
this
it, yeah.
on. It's not.
That's us serving up soup.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
We're looking awfully like President Obama there.
We are. This is not right. Just stick with us
Stick
for a
with
second,
us.
and I'm going to fix this.
It
I'm going to
was,
fix this.
Well attended, maybe not as well attended as last year, I think because of the weather.
Yeah.
But certainly on the first floor of the Bob where we were, it was quite crowded. I would say for the first hour, there were a lot of people coming up to get soup from us, and saw a lot of
Here we go.
familiar faces last night.
There's George
There we
serving
are,
up some
serving it
beef
up.
stew, Taiwanese beef stew, gluten-free.
I did taste that afterwards, pretty good.
What else did you taste? Because you walked around a little bit,
You
right?
know, there were a couple, and I don't remember the full names, but I think the one that we were serving up was the best one that I had.
It's this one right here. That's the
Oh, that's the one that you were serving up. I was serving up
the beef stew you
Right.
thought was the best?
Yes.
Okay.
This
That is
was
the Thai sweet potato bisque.
sweet potato bisque. That's right.
Which was very good as well.
I did enjoy a cold beer last night.
At the bar?
After we finished up, I decided to walk around and survey the situation a little bit. So I had a cold Heineken before I took off.
It's probably good. I was feeling thirsty at the end of that. There was a great band that
Yes.
was playing right
Do you
by
remember
us.
the name?
I don't.
remember the name. They were really good.
I was dancing the whole time.
A lot of
Kept
classic
bumping
rock
into
tunes.
you and Christine, but yeah, they were fantastic.
Yeah,
we had
so it was a
the-
good event.
Some ladies from M Live were at another table nearby serving
Mm-hmm.
soup, and they were all dancing
were
over
dancing-
there too, clapping.
dancing up a storm.
It was great. It was a lot of fun.
That's a good event.
It is a good event.
Last year, I tasted a lot more soups. I went
Yeah.
around and I must have had 7 or 8 last year.
I would have. I just wanted to get home.
You
I
had
just
a
got
long
back
weekend.
from not
Travel delays.
flight cancellations
Yeah.
and stuff. Just wanted to see the kids. But yeah, tomorrow Matt will be back. He's in Florida.
Lucky dog.
I don't think he got stuck. This was all planned.
Right.
He's just lucky. But yeah, so he can show us all his warm weather beach pictures.
I forgot where he went in Florida.
Somewhere South Florida.
So it was
I was on the northeast side.
Yeah.
So
Was it
he's-
Fort Myers area? I can't remember what he said. I can't remember.
I don't remember either, but I know that it's a warmer spot in Florida where I don't think they have freeze warnings like they do in
Yes.
certain spots of Florida today. So Matt will be back tomorrow. We appreciate you hanging with us here on a Tuesday.
Be careful out there, and we'll see you again tomorrow.